Hi, and thanks for checking in. It's Nicole, and I am going to do a little update on where I'm at today. Today is October 12th. I am 22 days away from my gastric bypass surgery, and I'm really excited to be so close to this next phase of my world. um, so yesterday I went and saw my primary care physician to do my medical clearance for surgery. So they did an EKG and a physical and ran some blood work, and that was just to make sure everything is good to go. Part of it is also to check any of my vitamin levels. So after I have surgery and they run blood work, they can tell if I am low on anything, or maybe if I am getting too much of a vitamin, if there's any toxicity from that. So that, I believe, is also part of the medical clearance. And I gotta tell you, I was really nervous about this appointment. It's that last hurdle, and I'm that person that sometimes I worry that I'm gonna go through all this work, and then at the very last minute, the rug is gonna be pulled out for me. And so, there was that part of me that was really afraid of that happening yesterday. And I've never had an EKG before, so I thought, oh, this is where it's gonna go south, and I'm not gonna be able to get it. But they did the EKG, and the doctor said my heart was perfect, and and then when she did everything else, all of my levels looked good. When I got all my lab work back, some last night and some today, all of it was in really great ranges. So I have been officially medically cleared for surgery. So I had that, and I also got the notification from Kaiser, who is my medical provider, and they provided me with the official, blessing. You've got the certification, everything. All of my paperwork has been submitted for short-term disability from work, and also FMLA. So all of that paperwork's been submitted. I believe the short-term disability has been preliminarily approved. Now they're just waiting for the actual start of my leave, which should be November 3rd. Now, really, at this point, to my understanding, the only thing that would keep me from having surgery November 3rd would be if there's, maybe another COVID outbreak, or, blood shortages, those kinds of things that are completely out of my control. Although I guess I could always decide, never mind, I'm not going to do it. But I don't see that happening. But I will say that when I met with the surgeon, and I might have talked about this on my last video, when I met with my surgeon back in September, and then I got the surgery date, there was a part of me that was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? This is such a drastic measure, and you could lose the weight yourself, and don't use this easy way out. And I wrestled with that for probably 3 or 4 days. And then when I really thought about it, and I thought about all the times that I've lost weight in my life, and I've a few years ago I lost, I don't know, 60 pounds, and but boy, that weight crept back on quickly, and then I gained even more, and that has been my story since the first time I ever had weight issues. And I didn't really have true weight issues until I was about, I think, 22, 23. And that's really when, I started to have food issue or weight issues. So I know how to lose weight. I know how to exercise. I know how to do all of those things. But I am, for whatever reason, unable to keep it that way, to sustain that. And that's where this tool comes in, right? It really forces me to learn how to do things differently, or suffer the consequences, which, I don't know if you've ever heard of dumping, but it sounds awful. And I don't want to have to go through that. And so for me, this is really about changing my behaviors and my patterns along with this tool, right? So, I've come back to the side that this is the right decision for me. Um, in the time that I've been, looking at all the information that's out there and looking at the different tools that are available to me, one of the things that I've done is I joined a Facebook group for individuals that have either had the surgery, they're about to have the surgery, or they're thinking about having the surgery. And one of the things that has really blown my mind is how many people out there that are interested in this or that have even just recently had the surgery have no idea what they're doing. And that's very confusing to me, and maybe even a little alarming, because this is a major surgery that requires work afterwards, and in the the very first about 6 to 8 weeks, it's very specific, outlined, regimented requirements. And I'll see someone post on the Facebook group, I'm 3 weeks post-op, what should I be eating? Or have I lost too much weight? Is this normal? And or the ones that really blow my mind is I'm having this symptom, whatever it is, and what should I do about it? And I think, oh my, you should call your doctor. That's what you should do. Like, these Facebook people are anybody. We're just individuals that have, again, gone through the process, about to go through the process, or thinking about the process. And so I don't understand individuals that don't know exactly what is expected of them at any point in the process of this new stomach and this new it's mind-boggling. For me, in order for me to be successful and to feel comfortable with my decision and to be able to be compliant and successful, I had to go out and read all of the information that my doctor's office gave me, and they gave me a pretty thick binder of information, and it maps out, here's what you drink, here's when you, all of the details, separating water from your meals, which I've tried and I'm not a fan of it, but I know I have to get used to it. And so when I see someone post on Facebook anything like that, like, what should I be eating? Does this look like a good meal? Or the other one, when can I go back to eating? And then whatever it is, it's something that really shouldn't be on their food plan any longer if they want to be, successful with this. And at first I would get like upset. I'd want to send them some snarky comment on the Facebook group. And then I thought, you know what? Their journey is their journey, and my journey is my journey. And, that is one of the reasons why I wanted to create these videos, is just to kind of talk through what has worked for me. And there will be people out there that would do the same thing, and they'll resonate with the things that I say. And then there are other people that'll look at me and think, oh my God, you were crazy. You're, too detail oriented, and OCD is probably what they'll say. And if you really knew me, you would know that I'm not at all OCD. However, there are things that I can be very OCD about. And this is one of them, because I am spending a lot of time, energy, and money to get the surgery done. So I want to be able to have it done and work successfully. So, one of the other things I think that you should know is that every doctor has a different plan than what you might hear someone talk about. One of the big things that used to be the case is, you can't use straws. You'll never use a straw again a day in your life. And then there are other doctors that don't provide that same requirement. There's others, like I said earlier, you have to separate your fluids from your meals. So if I'm going to eat something, I have to have 15 minutes in between the last time I had something to drink And then after I eat, I have to wait an hour before I can have something to drink. And you'll hear other people that it's 30 and 30. So you've got to wait 30 minutes after you drink to eat. And then after you finish eating, you've got to wait 30 minutes to drink. So there is going to be variations of that. And then, like in the one that I'm on, there's 6 phases that you go through after you have the surgery. And each phase has a different length of time and a different requirement, things that you can or can't do. You'll see other plans that are, maybe they have 3 phases, but those 3 phases are, really long and complicated. The other thing I noticed is that I'm doing a liver shrinking diet, and depending on under the plan that I'm under, depending on your BMI determines how long you're on this liver shrinking diet. So my liver shrinking diet I take for 1 week, and I start that on October 27th. And with my liver shrinking diet, I have a protein drink for 1 meal, a protein drink for a second meal, and then for the third meal, I would do 4 ounces of a lean meat or lean protein, and then I do 2 cups of raw or cooked vegetables. But I've seen other people where they're on a straight liquid diet for multiple days. There's been a couple that they've been on, just liquid diet for, I think I saw a couple of people for like 30 days. And that sounds awful, but I get it, because if you are obese or overweight, there's a really good chance that you have an enlarged liver, and they need to lift up the liver to get to the meat and potatoes of this surgery, and your liver has to be in good condition for that to happen. So at least that's how I understand it. But my message here is, and again, this won't resonate with everybody, but it's own this process. If you are going to go through this process, learn everything you can, ask every question you can. I would think about, I want to go email the doctor, and I think, oh no, I don't want to bother him. And then I go, wait a minute, I'm paying a lot of money. I want to know everything I can about this major surgery that's happening to my body. And so I'll send the question. But own it. Ask all the questions. If they give you material, read it, pore over it, make sure you understand it. For me, I got all of the stuff that the doctors gave me and the plan and all of that, but I still had those other questions about, emotionally, what should I expect, and physically, what should I expect, and what questions should I be asking, but I don't even think, I don't even know what that question is to ask that question. And so that's where I decided to start watching, other YouTube videos and listening to the things that the people were saying. And I will tell you again, and I said this in my last video, is that that's where I really started to understand all that other stuff that the doctors can't cover in the books. I remember one of the first things I learned watching videos was the pain that happens in your chest because of all that gas that goes into your body. And I'll tell you what, every medical thing I have read has not addressed that. Every appointment I've had with a doctor has not addressed that. So I did not know that was even something I should know about until I watched people's videos. And I thought, oh my, and one of the people talked about it, that she woke up from her anesthesia. She didn't know about the gas pains that were in her chest. And she, honest to goodness, thought she was having a heart attack. And the panic that she conveyed in her message was like loud and clear. And so for me, that's really kind of what fed my desire to watch those videos and learn about all those other things that you won't hear from the doctors. And I'm not knocking the doctors at all. You know, if the doctors had to cover everything inside and out and the emotions and all of that stuff, it would probably take us 2 years before we got through everything to get to the surgery. So, you know, I'm not knocking the surgeons at all. I'm just saying that for me, I needed to know all those other things that we don't get told. And that has been helpful for me. So, own it. Own this surgery. Own your body and your process and your responsibility through this. Because, you know, this is not a magic pill. I'm not going to wake up and suddenly not have food issues and not want to, you know, eat all those things that aren't healthy for me. And I'm not going to suddenly be running marathons and you know, organized. It's not a magic fix. It's a tool. And so for this to work for me, I had to know what my responsibilities were too. And so that's my message to you, is you've got to know those things, and you've got to own it, and you've got to actively participate in it and ask as many questions as you can from the right people. And when you are ready, you will know. And I'm ready, and I'm excited. And my next video I will start to do when I start my liver shrinking diet. So that'll be coming up in a couple of weeks. And if you've got any questions, comments, or whatever, please feel free to send them to me. If you like this video, it would mean a lot to me if you would do a thumbs up. And I would love it if you would subscribe. And if you wanted to subscribe, you could also click that little bell icon, and that would notify you when new content is available. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks.